Tipple of integratingpresence.com. And today, western coast of Florida. I don't know if it's hard for me to see on this little device. Oh, yeah, there's a major metropolitan area in the background. And so, I don't know, just real quick knowledge here. I don't know if anybody follows Vedic stuff, and I don't that much, but from my understanding, the beneficial part of having a huge water feature is they're more beneficial if they're to the north and east of you. So this would actually be to the west of me. And the other one they say is unbeneficial is to the south. But I don't know. There's a lot of different things that can be said about that. And it is a beautiful area, and hardly anyone's here. I was at this beach a few days ago. So as far as wisdom goes, I guess the general question I have for folks that would like to share their wisdom is, how do you? So I'm staying with a couple friends, and their two small children. And I wouldn't say it has been disharmonious by any means, but I'm always looking to increase, balance and harmony and order for the benefit of all. So the question is, how do you guys keep things harmonious when you're living amongst friends for a little bit? If you're an extended guest, or the opposite, where you have other guests stay with you for an extended period. I know for me, I find it fairly easy just to be content the way things are. Um, and, you know, uh, kind of not concede, just, offer to do things their way for a while. I know, um, for me, there's often a benefit in living really clean, right? With products that don't have chemicals, a lot of harsh chemicals and false things like that. And then, I have still been eating decent organic food around when I'm staying with them. But once I get used to things being so clean and pure, without a bunch of harsh chemicals in them, then when I travel, then it can really hit me hard, because anybody that also does deep meditation, they can know they can resensitize to things. So that's the downside, because we can't have that all the time, right? Or we wouldn't be able to do anything. Or what happens if it's taken away from us? Then we still need to be okay with other ways of living too. So I just noticed that one thing about, temporarily living at a vacation place with some friends and their kids. Liz says, laugh out loud. My boyfriend was here for 2 weeks. Going for walks helps. Yes, it's funny you mentioned that, because I walked to the beach here. It was about an hour walk from where we're staying. So yes, walking is great, because if you have too little energy, it helps energize you. And if you have too much energy, it helps ground and balance the energy. Plus it's just great exercise in general. So, the wisdom of the beach too. I don't know. Let me see if I can turn the camera around here and just the standard. Nope, it's not going to work. Let's see. That's okay though. I'll just see if I can show you guys where's it at? These seashells, right? So, one might say, I don't know if it's noticeable, oh, those all look the same. And in one way of speaking, yeah, they're all, similar shapes, similar sizes. But if you pick them up each individually, you can see, well, this one's got different coloration. So it all depends on our perception of how we view things. Sorry for the shaky camera again. It's boat traffic picked up right before I went on here. And so it just goes to kind of the power of perception in how detailed we want to look at something, or how, in the general scheme of things, a broader approach. So I think, I feel too that it's sometimes it helps to pull back and see the bigger picture, and sometimes it helps to kind of go into the details without giving, huge preference one towards the other. Okay, look at the comments again here. Just joined. Where are you? I am on the southern. I'm in Western Florida, along the coast of Western Florida. There's some bays here, so it's. I guess since you ask, it's I would say somewhere between the Sarasota, Tampa, and St. Petersburg area. And it's wild coming from, like 30, 40 degree temperature to sunny and 70. I just found a shaded spot on the beach here. So I used to make fun of snowbirds, but this is not too bad, at least the weather and the sunshine here. Liz says, I'm sure they appreciate the break from us as well. Meditation helps in just being by myself. Indeed. So, I was still able to, do my meditation practice every day that I've been doing since 2012, and even did the 2 hour set that I do on Tuesdays. So yeah, it's something I feel has been the most beneficial, daily practice in my life is doing that. Jacqueline says, "Hi, I'm in U City and going to St. Pete's on Saturday. So how about that for synchronicity or energetic affinity, right?" Okay, so nobody wants to share anything about how they live harmoniously with guests or have guests. Um, let's see. The other thing, and then I just talked about, our preferences too. How do you guys deal with when your preferences can't be met? Like for me, I was talking about not having a bunch of harsh chemicals and stuff like that. Because this goes to the larger wisdom of, um, you know, because conditions change, it's just a setup. It's not a decent strategy in the long term to just keeping external conditions just the way we want them, right? So we can spend all this humongous time and energy arranging external conditions just the way we like it. But the thing is, in the long term, because we can't control everything, some of those external conditions are going to change. And then when we think we should be able to control it all, or it should always be the one way that we want it, the way that we want it, it's not going to happen because in the long term, we can't maintain that to our liking all the time. So then we get disappointed when we think we can, or that we're failing, or someone's failing, or something like that. And what do I have? I don't know if anybody could see that helicopter is flying really low in the background. I had a black one fly over a while ago. Let's see here. It's hard for me to see with the sun and the. Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Right. There it goes. Anyway, yeah, so that's the but some people might say, hey, that's a bummer, really a bummer that's like that. And I would say, well, that's beside the point. That's just the way this reality is structured. And the more I can be in alignment with knowing that truth, the more actually relief it provides or can provide, the more I can see it and know that that's the truth of the way things are, and that fighting against it. It's like one of the analogies I like is, like you can scream and shout at the weather all you want, right? Raise your hands in the fist. Oh, why is it like this? Why is the temperature so hot or so cold? But it's not really going to do anything to change anything. Natalie says, hi, Joshua. That's me. Hello. And so, what nuggets of wisdom has anyone that would like to share? And Lorraine says, that's called living with some. I remind myself the universe offers me the challenges I need and use gratitude. Yep, I totally agree, Lorraine. So, just 1 second. There's some folks walking by here. One of the daily practices I have after setting my intentions in the morning before getting out of bed, and yes, setting intentions and then practicing gratitude, just allowing, we can do this more formally, but I just allow kind of the mind to, in heart, to whatever's bubbling up at the time and see if I can be grateful for it. And more than likely I can be, especially with practice more and more. Whatever will come up spontaneously, just being grateful for it before I even start my day. Um, and challenges, of course, yes. That's such a better way to look at things, I feel. My experience, too, is instead of seeing things as problems or issues or inconveniences, viewing them as challenges, because, challenges is a challenge. There's oftentimes a reward for going through it, meaning, what strength, what weakness is this helping me strengthen? So whenever we're going through something, a lot of times it is helping us strengthen weaknesses. Or, just maybe not though, but just asking that question I feel is helpful too. Yeah, living with someone. So that's an interesting thing. I'll just won't say much about that, but because the time's not right now, but maybe I'll mention um, a different aspect of this soon, within maybe a month or 2 months or so. We'll see. Maybe not though. All right. Anyone else have some wisdom to share that they would like? We've got about 3 more minutes before I'm going to wrap this up. It's quickly draining my phone, maybe about 30% since I started here. Um, that's okay. Usually do this on laptop. What's the topic going to be next week? Liz asked. Well, it's funny you mentioned this. So from the description I have, actually I don't do this every Wednesday, and there's big life changes coming up for me. So more than likely there won't be one next Wednesday, but I've done about 3 or 4 of these now, Liz, on Wednesdays, and I just say Open Wisdom Wednesdays. So I usually just come in and ask, spontaneous questions and general questions, and a lot of times it ties into what's going on in my life at the time. And that way I give you guys the same thing too. And I actually ask for your help instead of me just being the teacher, handing down things or wisdom and whatnot. I ask for you guys' advice too. And then again, maybe add some things here or there, or ask follow-up questions, and you guys are welcome to do the same. So yeah, while I feel it's helpful to have, a topic so people won't waste their time, right? So they know exactly if they want to go or not. I feel with this Open Wisdom Wednesday, since it's only around 15 minutes or so, sometimes I go longer if there's people, having interest. People can just kind of come in and see what's going on in their lives and share what's going on in their lives, and then, see what's going on in mine, I guess, if that's of any interest. Um, so ET says, what do you think about paying money for spiritual services? Really good question, ET. All I can say briefly with just a little bit of time here is that I'm open to both. So I feel it's admirable and honorable to do both, to do it as a service freely, giving freely in the spirit of generosity. That's what I tend to do right now. And at the same time, I know we all have bills to pay in the system, right? We all have we have to put food on the table, we have to pay our bills. So if our gift is in that, and we're not taking, we're not being, or there's no charlatans out there, if it's actually a beneficial service that's helping people, that energy exchange of exchanging money is good. Now, I know a lot of my stuff comes from the Buddhist teachings, which is all offered freely. So I would just, at this moment, unless I add anything, significantly original to that, then it's just me sharing what's been shared with me for free. But then, some of these other things that people have spent a lot of their time and effort studying and then coming up with their own systems and techniques and things like this, I think that's totally cool to charge for that, as long as both parties are getting benefit. Each one comes with its risk and rewards too, but that's almost like a entire topic on itself, and it's a really important one that comes up again. Liz says, no problems, my first time here. Cool. ET, this looks like a wonderful place to be by the water. It really is. And even when I was on the other side looking back here, because it's like a bay there or whatever, Gulf of Mexico, it was even more so. I mean, the energy facing the other direction, which I get to face east now, you guys are facing west. But um, anyway, Lisa says, I try to remind myself when I don't get my way that the universe is providing me assistance to go in the direction that is best for me. You know what? I would say keep at that and see where that takes you. And I think that's a way better way to look at life than some of the things that we naturally default to, right? Of negativity. So especially if we're more prone to defaulting to negativity, I think that's a great way to counterbalance that, right? I'll just say it again. Lisa says, I try to remind myself when I don't get in my way that the universe is providing me assistance to go in the direction that's best for me. All right, Lisa, sounds great. ET says, thank you for these thoughts. You're welcome, ET. And maybe that, like I said, maybe that'll be a topic for a whole talk in the future. But all right, guys, to keep this at a minimum so we can keep sharing, not have to take too much of your time, just to kind of do this randomness and check in. Wisdom Wednesdays. Maybe I'll do another one of these, coming up in a few weeks or a month or so. We'll see. All right. All the optimal and ideal blessings and energy to you and yours for the rest of this day, afternoon, evening, night, week ahead, month ahead, year ahead. Much love. Bye, guys. Go. And if you live by the beach, don't take it for granted, right? I live in the Midwest, and it's hundreds of miles away from the beach. So, well, I'm sure a lot of people live closer to the beach. It's like no big deal. To me, it's a bigger deal. Love you all. Bye.